How's that? Right there on the corner. It's not in here. Yeah, that's what I look like when I fall in a hole. So we're starting here. I found this picture at a little thrifty shop, and of course being a portrait it really resonated with me, so I had to have it. But the gentleman that we bought it off, look at that thing. The gentleman that we bought it off knew a little bit about it. Have a look here. Look at this. We got a bit of a spiel, like a family tree on the back here. And he said that the large photo, which is this, is a girl by the name of Jane Falconer Cant. I think I'm saying that right, Falconer or Falconer, maybe Falconer Cant. I've gone down a rabbit hole last night, and you know those rabbit holes where you start trying to find somebody? We'd sort of had it narrowed down to Port Arlington, and we're going to go there today and see what we can find. But from narrowing things down, being a female, of course, she can marry, and she had married Thomas John Cleary. This is the rabbit hole though. Initially I was looking for this Jane Cant, and I was searching Find a Grave Australia. I was looking at records, birth, deaths, marriages. I couldn't find her. And to be honest, a name like Jane Cant back in 1848 to 1912, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. There's thousands of them worldwide, so I was never going to find it. But with a bit of info from this, I did narrow it down. I silly me, but I did realise in the end that she'd married Thomas, which meant that she now became Jane Clary. And once I looked for Clary in Port Arlington Cemetery, I believe that we've found our girl. Her parents are there. They're also in the Port Arlington Cemetery from what I can see online. There is no photographs of the 1, 2, 3, 4 graves that I think we're going to find today. So yeah, that's what we're going to go and do, guys. We'll take the picture along with us because it's a masterpiece, and we'll get a photograph. I might even take a medium format photograph of the picture sitting there with Jane, all going well. It'll be like a little memorial for her. Let's do this. Port Arlington's it's a little coastal town. So there's a whole series of little coastal towns just out of Geelong here in Victoria. And Port Arlington is one of the main ones, what I would call the main ones. There's Ocean Grove, Torquay. They're all surf coast, very, I don't know, beachy sort of community sort of towns. They have a very deep-seated culture with surfing. I think of Rip Curl, the brand, very near straight away when you mention these sorts of places, especially Torquay. I'm off track a little bit, but Torquay, very much so. Surf related. They have, still to this day, they have the Rip Curl surfing competitions there. Not so much Port Arlington. Port Arlington is off to the side. It is a very big popular favourite for campers and beachgoers, especially over the New Year festive seasons. It's one of them places, if you've got a caravan, you're going to know where Port Arlington is. And they're heavily booked out, mate. Like, you're not getting anywhere near this place for probably, I reckon the wait list to get a campsite down here during the summer would be about 2 years. Some people book just continually. It's a very, very popular little place. We're not going there for the beach, or we're not going there for the caravanning or the camping. We're going there to check out the cemetery and try and find Jane's grave and the family graves of Jane, which is a little obscure. Most people are going to the beach to enjoy the sand and the water and the surf, but I don't do none of that. Sorry to disappoint you guys. I'm not a beach goer. I really despise the beach. I don't like dirty sand. I don't like overcrowded areas. I'm a bit boring when it comes to the beach. Sorry to let you down, no pun intended. So without further ado, let's make our way to the cemetery, and you guys are coming to give me a hand to see if we can actually find what I think we're going to find, and I hope we're going to find, because failing that, today's going to be a real bust. So according to the navigator, the cemetery is up here. It seems very, very residential to me, but nope. Sure enough, navigator don't tell a lie, that is the cemetery right there. Look at that. That's bizarre. Right there and amongst all the houses. I mean, it wouldn't have always been amongst the houses. Let's go. So this is what I really need, is the map. And I've already figured out off the notes on my phone, Pres 2, I think that means Presbyterian, but Jane is somewhere in here. So that's what I'm shooting for. They're actually all in there, I think. All 4 that we're looking for are in that red section. That's just up here. So let's go and see if we can, find it. It's a good sign that what we're looking for is the old section. I did come across this by mistake. Some dude, Nielsen, accidentally killed 19th of February 1931. He was only 24. Yeah, that's what I look like when I fall in a hole. Jesus. Here's another one, Hood. Accidentally killed 30th of December 1929, Joseph Hood. A lot of, well, he's got a double grave. Joseph Hood here too. 24th of August 1905, age 36. Not a very lucky name. Not a very lucky name. 2 Joseph Hoods side by side. That's bizarre. I'm having no luck finding this. This is very poorly managed and marked out, this cemetery. Yeah, there was a bit of pun intended on that, because it's actually really bad, to be honest. There's no markers on the sides. Normally they've got like a marker, so you've got a rough idea what the arrangement is. There's no online maps. Very poor. All I know is that we are in the Pres 2 section, somewhere in here, and it doesn't look like there's many graves in there, but it's still like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I'll go back to the drawing board. It's also wintertime here too, so no word of a lie, it is literally freezing. It doesn't look freezing, I know, but it is freezing here today. So this is what I'm at. It's not in here. And if it is, it's unmarked. So with the map being as poor as it is, and no markings on any of these aisles, I don't know what else to tell you. It's not going to happen, is pretty much what I've come up with. The area is so small. It's literally along that street. You can see the next street behind that tree there. The war memorial separates the lawn there where I think it's mostly ashes. It's really only this, I mean, it's really only like a 40 car car park space. A lot of the graves are new ones. I've checked them anyway to see whether they've been re-erected, but honestly, I don't know what else to do. There's no markings anywhere. It's, to be honest, it's disappointing just how poorly managed some of these places get. I could try to call them and just sort of ask and say, look, is there a better map, at least with the aisles marked on it? Or I'm not really seeing any numbers on any of the graves. They've got the little, down here in the corner, you know, they've got the maker's marks. They've all sort of got that. But they're just like a business tag. They're not numbered. So if you're looking for plot 27, where's plot 27? Total bust. I'll do a bit more research and see if I come up with anything else. And if I don't, unfortunately, this is as good as the video is going to get. And I'm sorry that's happened to us all if that's the case.
At this point, to be honest, I'd totally underestimated just how difficult this was going to be. I was frozen stiff, so I packed up, went home, made some more inquiries and got the pens and pencils out. Came back the following weekend and reconfigured my approach entirely. And I think it paid off.
Here we are. Beautiful, sunny, winter, Port Arlington. But let's be real, that's not really what we came here for. So let's get to it and go and find what we came for. Okay, as it turns out, I've gone right down the rabbit hole with this, right? This has really exploded on me. I'm going to throw these up on the screen so you guys can see them a bit better. But in a nutshell, what's happened is I was trying to find Jane, as you guys know, right? But on top of Jane, I also tried to find her parents. They're in the same cemetery. Now, I couldn't find them the other day when we were here looking around, you guys were with me. So I've come back, and I've come back a little bit better armed. So I've also got the death certificate. This one is Jane's. This one is her dad's. I'll put them both up separately. You guys can pause it and have a bit of a look. But the rabbit hole really sort of started to explode on me when I looked at, not Jane's, I looked at her father's. We were just looking at it on the way down. And we also noticed on the same extract from the death log here, I also noticed that there was two kids. There's two kids buried in here as well. And we're going to try and find these guys as well. They've both died of diphtheria. It's listed as diphtheria. One was 5 and one was 14. Both, obviously, the year 1896, within days of each other. 24th of June and the 26th of June, 1896. Pretty horrific diphtheria. But yeah, we'll talk about that as we get a bit closer. We'll go and find these two guys as well while we're here. So I know that's not what we came to do, but that's what's happened. Yeah, as time's gone on, this little adventure's really started to explode on us, hey. I have found out, I phoned the phone number for Port Arlington Cemetery, and it gave me, well, when the call connected, I actually got a really helpful lady, Deb. Thanks, Deb. Shout out to Deb. She was, to be honest, guys, she was awesome to deal with. She was super lovely. Nothing was too much trouble. She helped me find where Jane and her father, John, are buried. She actually sent me a pin drop, bang, right to my phone. I just opened it, clicked on the link, and it was within half a metre of accuracy. No problem. It was a 2-second job for her to find them. I wish I had done that in the first place. It would have saved me a second trip all the way out to Port Arlington, but today's a slightly better day. Have a look. I don't know if you can see, but that is the ocean out there, and it's beautiful. And while we're looking this direction, right here is where Jane's buried, right here on the corner. This roadway here where we're parked is actually, the tyres are actually cutting across her plot. It's right here. And her father and mother are directly behind it. We think from where the pins dropped, the pin actually dropped on the outside of the fence here, but that would be in the roadway. So John and Helen, John died in 1896. I think he's in here, and I think his wife's in there as well. It makes better sense to me to be in there than out here, yeah? I mean, if it's out here, it is in line. It is in line with what we've got going on here, but it just, I don't know. We did notice too that there's this wood remnants here, but is that edging for the roadway, or is that edging of another grave, or is that edging for this grave? I don't know. Look, honestly, I don't know. But it's real windy here today too, just quietly. But nonetheless, this one here is the one that we've gone down the rabbit hole completely on. This is why we came here. This grave here on the corner is Jane's, man. So I'm going to grab the photograph. We'll sit the photograph here. A bit of a memorial for Jane. Just to let her know that she's not totally forgotten about, and for now I'm the caretaker of her photograph. So I'll grab it and we'll sit it here and we'll take a picture or something. Let's do that. So here we go. Jane was born in Scotland, and she actually ended up here. Passed away in 1912. Like I said, the death certificate will be on the video, so you guys can pause it and read into it. I can't make out a lot of the handwriting that's on there, so her cause of death at age 64 years, I don't know what her cause of death was. I can't really read it. At 64 years of age, it's a little bit irrelevant. I guess in old terms, she lived a relatively good life. She's here. And I just thought it was cool, man, just to bring her picture back. And I don't know why, I just felt like it was the right thing to do. So we've done that. And yeah, it's like a little memorial for her, I guess, which is sort of cool. I can take the photograph home now and hang it on the wall and know that all the stepping stones have been stepped on. Is that what I mean? No, that's probably not what I mean. All the boxes have been ticked. That's what I mean. I feel like all the boxes have been ticked. It's bizarre to know that it's right there on the corner. It makes some sense because there are plots roadside, and then this is the junction of, you know, the roadway, and this would have always been a roadway. But yeah, it's really weird, man. It's weird how somebody can live their whole life and then just be absolutely totally forgotten about. And really, that's what's gone on. Like, it's forgotten about. So what we're going to do now, right? We've covered Jane, but on the death certificate, while we were in the rabbit hole, we found them other two kids, right? We're walking around at the minute and I'm trying to find the graves of these kids. One was Ida. I'll need to look them up, but we'll drop their names when we find the graves. Interesting little stories, and I didn't expect to stumble upon these stories whilst we were presenting the one on Jane, but yeah. Come with me, let's find them. Let's do that.
There you go. It says there on the back, Baker.
Baker. Okay, so we found Irene Baker. Irene Baker was 5 when she passed away of diphtheria. Okay? Diphtheria. What it says, I don't know much about diphtheria, it's a bit of an old school thing, but here's what the internet says. Diphtheria is a serious, potentially fatal bacterial infection that primarily affects the nose and throat, but can also impact the skin. It's caused by the bacterium Corynebacterium diphtheriae, which produces a toxin that can cause severe inflammation and damage to the respiratory system, heart and nervous system. Vaccination is the most effective way to prevent diphtheria. I think I didn't pronounce some of that right, but anyway, that's what it says in a nutcase. It says that it is spread through respiratory droplets, coughing and sneezing, or contact with skin sores or infected items. Treatment. It requires prompt treatment with antibiotics and diphtheria antitoxin to neutralise the toxin. So, yeah, basically, back in these days, this was 1896 that this happened, right? So this is way prior to, I'm not sure whether there would have been any sort of vaccinations then. I'm pretty confident that vaccinations as a whole weren't even created. But I'm 100% certain that there was no such thing as antibiotics. So either way, you were screwed, man. This stuff was diphtheria. It reads to me that it was nothing but a death sentence. So yeah, Irene, 5 years old. That's one of two interesting entries in the log on John Cant's death certificate. If we didn't pay for John Cant's death certificate, we would have never stumbled on these two short stories that are really intriguing, man. So yeah, that's Irene. Let's find the other one. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that a car's come flying up here out of control and smashed into this. What do you reckon? That's wild. That's wild.
She's over here on the graph.
Oh, fuck. Oh, down here by itself?
Yeah.
This is it here. Ida Fisher. So cause of death again at age 14 was diphtheria. It's worth noting too, and again, these are on John Cant's death certificate, which I've put up on the screen. I'll put it up again. But it says that it was actually heart failure. So obviously diphtheria starts to attack the body and things decide that they're just gonna stop working. And obviously with a heart not working, that's game over. And that's what's going on here. It actually says here, yeah, Ida Fisher, age 14 years. Loving memory of. It says down here, God's finger touched her and she slept. Yeah, that's nice. That's crazy, actually. It gave me a bit of a goosebump. It's a shit result, to be honest. 1896. So this stuff actually predates the turn of the century. Again, no vaccinations, mate. So I don't know. They say nowadays that with antibiotics and antivirals that we've got a good shot at surviving things like diphtheria. But it is still a thing. It's still out there. It's still amongst us, and it still can be caught. Vaccination rates in Australia are pretty good, and it is seldom caught by residents of Australia now because it's part of our immunisation chart, and we're sort of protected against it. Whether you believe in immunisations or not, there probably is a little bit of goodness in immunisations like that. Otherwise, this trend here, this would have really kept going, man. For the bad too, like. But anyway, it is what it is, and that's how it's gone down. I didn't sort of pay over attention to the decorations, but if this grave's 1896, yeah, that little angel down there, I mean, that's not that old. Like, it's probably not even early 1900s. It could have been there for 20 or 30 years, but somebody's coming out here still. 1896, what's that? That's 130 odd years ago. and somebody's still keeping tabs on that grave, kind of. Maybe not for some time, but kind of. The other vase has got a flower in it. Maybe that's the caretaker, I don't know. Look, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but that's how that one's gone down. It's bizarre that, you reckon it's bizarre? I find it a little bizarre that people still keep some sort of tabs on something like that. Harry Lithgow of Bradford, England, accidentally drowned at Port Arlington, 13th of Jan, 1927, aged 20 years. That's why I don't swim in the ocean. I told you that on the way here. I'm not a swimmer. I'm not trying to, no pun intended. That's why I don't swim in the ocean. How's that? Right there on the corner. They must be busy if they're digging holes. Like today's Saturday, ready for a, is that like a Monday service or something? So they put the big aluminium cap on the top of it. You wouldn't want to smack a four-wheel drive tyre in that thing. You'd drop your old bull bar in the in the hole. It's right there on the corner. Driving around, a bit of a daydream, you know, trying to find something and just bam. Look at that right there on the, whatever. They're planning ahead and I'm thinking ridiculous. I just noticed the washout, the ruts. When I was here last week, you guys saw me, I went arse up, tripped in a hole. But this is real ankle twisting shit happening up here, isn't it? Like, it's almost like a river. It's quite old in areas, this cemetery. The front section, I showed you when I was here last week, but the front section's still very new and still functional and operating. But up here, this is old man's land. Like it's, yeah, it's all very, very old school. Yet the lawns on this side, the burials are more scattered. So here's Goldfields dirt looking, and then you got this grassed area right down one side of the cemetery. It is all a little bit bizarre. It's got a lot of shape too. So it's not, well, it's all uphill. So hence the amazing view that these guys have got from their balconies, man, and then all the way down to the ocean. Like if you look out across the top of the car, beautiful out there. Look at that. Wonderful. I don't know about living so close to a cemetery, but that pretty much wraps up our short story here. That's about all I can bring you on the grave of Jane. It's it was bizarre, man. I mean, this all started from finding a photograph in a thrift shop, and I'm quite happy to put the time in and try and find out what I can on something like that. I find it deeply satisfying. I don't know why. And the other stories that come with it, you know, on the other kids that are here, diphtheria deaths. It's crazy. I mean, her parents, John, Helen, they're buried behind her here. You know, there's a whole genre of stories that come out of it, and I mean, they're very old stories. Like 1912's a long time ago. 1912 too, that rings very true to me because of the Titanic. So 1912's the year that the Titanic sank. So when I see 1912, it really puts a face mask on the year for me. It's very, I don't know, I'm a bit of a Titanic fan. I don't study up on it or whatever, but I'm very familiar with the happenings of the Titanic sinking. And I paint a year of 1912 as Titanic. It's just bam, oh yeah, that's the time of the Titanic. So it really does paint a picture of that kind of time set, that era, that genre. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. If you hung out this long, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we will catch up on the next run. But for now, bye everyone.